have done that ahead of time, but welcome to live broadcasting. All right, we're working through this Alfred's Basic Adult Piano Course, Level 1 for beginners. And we're going to take another chunk out of it today. I think we're kind of up to page 25. So, again, as I've said in the other couple of videos, if you need to go back, pause this, go back, find that first one, second one, and then it'll take you all the way back to the first part of the book. By now, if you're jumping in, you should have your C triads in both hands and your G7 triads in both hands. Now, I've discussed a lot about warm-ups. I'm going to turn on my metronome here so you can, once we get the notes and a song, we want to play to some rhythm. I'm just going to use a simple little click track here. So here's a good exercise. 1, 2, ready, play. Make sure you're hitting all those notes real clean. And I have my metronome at, I think, 90, I think. Do the right hand. If you're at your piano, play right along with me. Now, these don't get a lot of ink in the book, but boy, do they pay dividends in the real world. I mean, because it's a good workout, it's a good warm-up. Here's another one that we want the first 5 notes of the C scale in both hands. So, another warm-up. Let's turn on the metronome again. 2, 3, 4. Now you really want to internalize that rhythm and hit those notes exactly on time. Let's double time. So I won't belabor that point because I've made it in earlier videos, but you want to spend a portion of your practice time there in warm-ups and really, especially as a beginner, because a big part of it is muscle strength. Now, I think I did 24 last time. I think. If I didn't, you're on your own with that one. So, let's do page 25. What can I share? And it looks like between 25, 26, 27, we're going to play the same song, only we're going to reverse the hands. So first, let's get the notes. E, F, G, C. Okay, a couple things to point out here. Make sure everything is all smooth in rhythm. We're in 3/4 time now. So it's 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1. So that kind of vibe, you want to, like a waltz, you want to be aware of that. And then you can count that off. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 2, 2, 3. Okay, so that's one thing. The other thing is the melody of a song should always sing. You should never have to, as an audience member, strain to hear the melody. Now I get on my soapbox on this sometimes on my channel, that we see a band and the band's out one member of the band's trying to outdo the other member, and they're fighting each other, and it's just not good musicianship. So let's start you off right from the beginning, that if the melody's in the left hand, right, that is the melody. So you don't want this. You don't want this. See how the harmony is fighting with the melody. The harmony needs to be in the background all the time, no matter what hand. So for your musicianship, let's make it sound more like this. Same notes, and it's a matter of dynamics. It's just styling so that it sounds very pleasing. Now, of course, the last thing we want to do is put our metronome on. Let's 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Okay, how do we do? Alfreds should be sending me a check for doing this. But I hope you guys are benefiting from it. Let's flip over to page 26. And now we're going to introduce a new note for us. So far we had C, D, E, F, G. Now we want to reach over and get this A. Now, just like we did last time, we had, in our left hand, we had C, D, E, F, G. And our pinky reached over and got that B to get this. But you got to be able to reach over without these fingers getting out of position. Now we're going to do a similar thing here in the right hand. That pinky needs to be able to reach over without the other hands, without the other fingers, without the other fingers getting out of position. Right? And that is going to introduce us to a new chord, an F chord. So, well, on 26, it's in the left hand, so here it is. See how this finger here stays right where it is. Now remember, last time we needed muscle memory. Last time we did C to G7. So we need muscle memory from C to F. Metronome time. 2, 3, 4. Do it a few times, you do it a few hundred times. Now we also, while I have the metronome on, I'm going to tell you something that the book is not telling you. Don't lose what you already had. Let's go to G7. F, back to C, G7, to C. Let's go from F to G7 to C. Different kind of combinations. You can move anywhere between those three chords at will. Okay, and that's going to require a little time, a little practice. Um, so now everybody runs to the songs and they don't really do the practice like you see on 26. So you can do that, but you're going to make playing the song a lot harder. What you want to do is get this left hand on lock. I want this on lock. So now let's do our normal thing. So we need the notes on 27. So watch out for when that F chord only comes in one time during the whole song. And that number. Now trying to coordinate all of that, if you don't have your left hand on lock. So when I was playing When the Saints Go Marching In, I was not even thinking about my left hand. I got it on lockdown. I got it. It knows where it wants to go. So I'm trying to encourage you all to do your left hand work. And that way, when you add the right hand, easy peasy, or a lot easier. Okay, so now we're going to do the same thing with the right hand. Remember we did this before, we got that. Now we're adding an F chord. I'm on page 28, by the way. Take the time to do that practice. Now get that on lock. Stuff, but it pays dividends. And so we want to invest in things that pays dividends. I remember years ago I was going through this very same book and I had a teacher, he's just walking me through this page, next page, next page, next page. Looking back on it, I don't know if I had the right instruction. I was spending a lot more time. Also, it's never too early for ear training. That's a C chord. It's major. Matter of fact, all these chords are major. It's the one chord in that key. It's home. It's home. It sounds like home. So let me just digress. See, when you play that chord, it's like you just came home. F chord doesn't sound like home. It's the 4th chord. Doesn't sound bad, but it doesn't sound like home. Not in this key. Now when you come home, it's like amen. You can't end on A. You need the man part. Now the 5 chord or G7 chord is the most unsettled of those three. You can't leave on that. It definitely wants to go home. 5. Little bit of ear training. Train your ear. So if I close your eyes, or if I told you to look away and I said, what chord is this? Don't look, don't look, don't look. I should black out my screen. Don't look. Does it sound like home? Yes. Okay, how about this one? What chord is that? Does it sound very unsettled, a little unsettled? Does it sound like home? Definitely does not sound like home. Because it wants to go here. How about this one? Oh, it doesn't sound that unsettled, sort of in the middle sounds. So it too wants to go somewhere. So if you got a partner or record yourself a couple times and then see if you can guess what chord is being played. You know what? Get it wrong, you get it wrong. And no music cop is going to come by and get you. But you're now cultivating your ear. And later on, when we get to page 57 or 120, I'm setting a seed for something. Okay, on page 29, I'm going to play the same song only in reverse. So let's read those notes. Better harmonically, so that the melody sings a little harder to make the melody sing when it's in the left hand. But for the purposes of this video, we'll let that slide. Give me a little grace on that. But you play it better than that, so make sure your melody is really shining. Now we're going to do a few more pages, and I guess that's enough. So now on page 30, we're moving to a whole new position. Here's C position. That's C position. We're going to take everything up to G position. In essence, we're changing the key. All we're going to do is exactly the same thing we did in C position, only we're going to apply it to G position. First, let's name those notes. And let's see where they are on the staff. Look up on the top of page 30. We got some new staff reading notes to learn. G, A, B, C, D. G, A, B, C, D. This is where you got to stay here a while. Where is it on the keyboard? Where is it on the musical staff? So we did this already, except for we were in C position. So let's see what's going on. Intervals in G position. On the treble, thumb on G this time. And then we have a couple of left hand things. And then we have some harmonic intervals. We have a interval, that's a whole step, that's a minor third, that's a fourth, that's a fifth. Remember I told you fifth sounds like the Roman Empire is coming to town. Now take your time here. We're not going to go too much further than this because we are in new territory. And when you get into new territory, you want to slow down enough. So take your time on page 30. You're in a whole new position. You got a lot to take in right here because you got some new notes. You're in a whole different hand position. So let's just do 31 and we'll call it a video because you want to spend some time right here and not rush through this. So first, let's take a look at Love Somebody just in the right hand. Now, I mentioned this earlier. If you need to write in pencil a couple of notes, then do that. But please, don't just write every last note up there on the top. You're never going to be a sight reader that way. So say and play. Watch, keep your eye on the book, and then say those notes. G, B, D, D, A, B, C. G, B, D, D, C, B, A. G, B, D, D, A, B, C. B, B, A, A, G, Do not move on until you have that down. What are we doing here? Well, sort of looks like we're playing Love Somebody, but we're doing more than that. We're learning those notes and getting them solidified in our head. Once you play that song, take your pencil out and erase every last note you just wrote on there as a crutch. Because now let's try it again. And let's see if you can. The more you do it, the less you're going to need the crutch. If you overuse the crutch, then you're never going to walk. So let's do it again. G, B, D, D, A, B, C, G, B. Eyes on the book. So after a while, you're going to start to memorize this song, right? But you're really associating a note place on the musical staff with a note place in your hands. That's sight reading. That's all it is. Okay, so once you've done that 35 times, 50 times, however you need to do it, until you are confident that this is boring, I got this. Okay, now you can, let's move to the left hand. What's going on in the left hand? We got a C and a D, right? We got a D, we got a B and a D, and we got a and a D. We got some intervals going on. We got now, yes, I can see their intervals by the note spacing, but you need to be able to name those notes. Let's go from the bottom up. C, D, B, D, A, D. Now you got some clues here. The D is staying the same. It's only, this is, the bottom note is the only one changing, so. And then the right hand does this thing. Now let's see. Okay, so let's look at that other little cluster over there and measure 4. Now we're going the opposite way. So the first time we went down, except for D staying the same. Next time we went up. And then the right hand takes its turn. And then the left hand is going to go down again. And then the right hand does this thing. So we have, now we're not going up or down. We have this. Take your time and get those notes. Now, if you need a temporary crutch, I don't know what that one is. Well, then write it in pencil. But you want to erase it as fast as possible until you get this clean. Another thing, somebody asked me, should I put note names all over my keyboard? There's these things they sell, these little stickers. My answer is no. No. Go slow enough that you really are learning. Because the more you use crutches, it's just gonna, it might get you to play Love Somebody faster, I guess. And you can impress somebody with, I know how to play this. But are you really learning? Or are you just over-relying on various crutches? By now, if I said find me an E on the keyboard, easy peasy. Matter of fact, you should be able to find any note on this keyboard, black or white, because we went through that in the first video. So there are people who want to learn, and there's people who want to play. The people who want to play, well, there's people who want to do both. But learning requires more time. It requires more study, and it requires you to dig in. And the more crutches we use, like sticking stickers all over your keyboard, I guess if you're like 5, then I'll give you a break. I'll relax on that. If you're 55, maybe not so much, because we can learn this. If I can learn it, anybody can learn it. So now it's time to put all of this together. Out of tempo, no metronome, no nothing. We're in G position, right? So we got to stick all of this stuff together. sounds pretty when you get the dynamics and the level kind of just right. So once you have the notes correct and you're pretty happy with it, now it's time for the metronome. Now I'll skip that because we just did that on the last song. But you know what to do. You know what to do. Put your metronome on and make sure. The other thing is now you want to write in your book. Always in pencil. Always keep a pencil handy around somewhere. That what BPMs can you play this well? And where you're fumbling around, circle the passages. Maybe you got this part, but you don't have this part. It's called counter melody, by the way. You see this is going up, this is going up, and this is going down. So we got really two melodies going on. We got that going on. So it's a lot going on here in this song. And we got a new position, and we got some new notes to read, and. So stay right here and wrestle this bear until you get it down. Remember I said this book looks kind of skinny, but it's supposed to be like a year, maybe more, to really assimilate all the material that's in this book. So don't rush. A friend like you, let's do that one just because it's on this page. So we got some new notes here. We know our procedure now. We learn the notes first. 4/4 time. 1, 2, 3. Those are pickup notes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. 2, 3, 4, 1. Now, get that part down. And now we have some more intervals going on. And here again, we got movement in almost like that D there. So we start off with a G and a D. Then we got an A and a D. We got a B and a D. We go back down. So that little cluster sounds like. Right? Let's do that a few times. Remember, the D is staying the same, just like in the last song. Second cluster starts with an A and a D. And now the next cluster is the same as the last one. But you name those notes as I did earlier. And then finally we got G, start on G. Clearly the left hand is busier than the right hand. Well, they kind of take turns. So get in G position. And now, without tempo, let's put that together. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, aspiring pianists, that is a lot to take in for a good chunk of week's work. Put it in the comments below. A, if this is helping you. B, got any questions at all? Like what does that line mean? What does this time mean? Etc. If you didn't understand, there is a method to my madness that goes slow and practice the right things. Also, remember daily practice is way more important than marathons. You should be practicing, uh, a half hour, 45 minutes, 6 days a week is way better than 6 hours on Saturday. Yeah. And so you got to really make the time, focus your time, and zero in, because this is physical work as well as mental work. But the fruit is spiritual, almost like wow, look at the joy of playing it. If you need to take a break, sometimes beginners, their hands get tired, or your hands get a little sore. That's a sign to just take a break, get away from it for a minute or two, come back to it a half hour later, go for a walk or something like that. But don't turn it into a chore that you're, don't do that. You are going, expect mess ups. So what we're going to do is we're going to fumble our way to become a pretty good pianist. That's what we're going to do. So don't get surprised if yours don't sound like mine. Mine doesn't sound like Joe Samples, by the way. I mean, I went to a concert the other day. Oh my goodness, the guy was throwing down on the piano. This is not about competition. This is about, let's see where you can take your playing.